What's up, creepers? This is JC. Welcome back to Jeepers JC, and today we are at the Haunted Hydro in Fremont, and we are going to go through their Rotten Tail haunted house.
I talked to them.
As you can see from the banner that I just showed you guys, there was no filming allowed inside. Therefore, enjoy this clip of me getting scared shitless.
You're trying to my eggs!
I'm paying attention.
For the chainsaw, it popped out.
Oh my god! It's always the times that they pop around the corner, like the jump scares that get me. I usually like let out some kind of scream or yelp, and then I instantly get into giggle fits. So that's what that was. That happened a small handful of times. The entire haunted house, maze, whatever you want to call it, we probably got through it in 30 minutes or less. So because I wasn't allowed to film inside, I am going to be doing a spring makeup look today, and I am not going to divulge any details about this specific look. Just trust the process. Come with me as I talk about the Haunted Hydro and enjoy my final look. I have never been to the Haunted Hydro. It is in Fremont, Ohio. I know they're most famous for doing their Halloween haunted houses. And I had done no research prior to going. I just saw a Facebook event for the Easter themed haunted house, which was like Rotten Tail. So it was, I believe it was $25 for general admission, which if you're gonna go to an off-season haunted house, don't ever get the fast pass or like VIP tickets, because you'll end up paying $50 and there's never a long line, so don't worry about waiting. So it started at 8:30 and we got there around 7:30, so I thought there was gonna be a line. Like I said, I've never been to this before, and we were the second people in line. And we didn't have to wait that long. They didn't wait to let us in until it got dark out, so that was cool too. Otherwise, we would have waited like an additional hour to get in. And I will show you guys a clip now of what it looked like to go get in line. They had all these like metal fences, and it was like very zigzagged around the corner. It was a good way, I think, to space people out as they're waiting in line, so it takes up less room of like the actual property if there is long lines. And while we were waiting, we could also hear like the scare actors like chanting together to get hyped up, and they played some like werewolf sounds in the background and just creepy noises and stuff to add to the ambiance.
Maddie.
We have a few bunnies in there, but they're not cuddly bunnies. No, they're scary bunnies.
When we were first admitted in, like it was our time to go in the haunted house, we were greeted by some kind of masked guy. He was honestly giving me ghost vibes from Call of Duty. But I don't know what his purpose was other than to like prep us or buy time for the people that went in front of us. But he basically told us the rules and said like we were there, like he set the scene. He said we were there to find his golden egg. So there was like a golden egg in the haunted house, and from what he was telling us, it just sounded like whoever went through the haunted house and found this hidden golden egg like won a prize at the end of the haunted house. So that was cool. Obviously we didn't find it. Would have been cool if we did though. So that was awesome, and he was super like aggressive. He told us to get your back against the wall, don't move. It was very like army style, which made sense for his masked costume because he looked like a zombified army guy kind of. I don't know. He was cool to like kind of build you up before we went inside. And then once we started walking through, it was like a lot of like tunnel type things to walk through. I don't really know how to explain it other than like they had these wooden walls with like ceilings, but they were hallway sized. So a lot of the rooms that they had there were like this, and they guided you in different areas. There was at least, I'd say at least 2 to 3 scare actors per like little section. So you would walk through these little tunnel hallways, and then you get to an open area, and those open areas had 2 to 3 people, and they were super active too. Like I know the VIP package that you can buy, they give you a t-shirt for it. So when you do that, they are allowed to touch you, grab you, take you, and put you somewhere, and it's like the whole nine. But with that being said, like I suggested in the beginning, you don't necessarily have to buy all of that because I got touched several times. It was only by the female scare actors, thankfully, because anything else probably would have made me feel a little bit uncomfortable, but I was fine with it. I was down with it. It was really fun. They did get me a couple times by doing that though. There was a woman scare actor who came up behind me and she like touched my shoulder like that, and it made me jump, so that was funny. I would say a lot of the times it was just like walking through, and normally I would probably hoot and holler about all of that just because that's not why I'm there. I'm not there to check out the scenery. I'm there to get scared. Like that is my whole purpose. I want to get some kind of reaction. I want to get scared. I have yet to be scared from a haunted house. Besides when I went to the Haunted Hoochie, I think it's kind of down by Columbus, Ohio, but that was years ago. Um, anyways, but what I will say is the times that I was walking around, it wasn't bad. Like each room had its own theme and it stuck to the theme up until you got to the next room. So I really do appreciate that. I think it's awesome if you are doing a haunted house and you really do have the funds to spend on decor like that. I really do appreciate that because you, at the end of the day, you are paying for the whole experience. And if I'm not gonna get like gut wrenching scared, I would at least like to be transported somewhere else, if you know what I mean. I think I take back what I said about this palette in my previous video. The pink is really cool. It just, I wish it didn't have so much fallout to it. Alright, back to the haunted house. One of the things that I thought was super cool about it being a themed haunted house having to do with like Easter and stuff is that some of the scare actors were giving out candy like how one would do in an Easter basket. So I ended up getting a ring pop from somebody, and then another scare actor who kept heckling me like the entire time, asked if I had any eggs, and I couldn't pass him unless I had an egg to give him. So I said, well, I have this ring pop. And then you could tell like he broke character a little bit because I kept trying to give him the ring pop to pass. And I was like, no, you can take it. I don't want it. Blah, 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 blah. So he took it. And I kept seeing him throughout the entire haunted house. Like I kept seeing him in random spots. So every time him and I ran into each other, he's like, "My friend, my buddy." So that was kind of funny. Um, I love when scare actors like they they notice specific people who like do this and notice like they aren't getting scared, so they try to mess with them in other ways. And it's just like an appreciation for people who both enjoy haunted houses and spooky stuff. Um, if it wasn't in that type of setting, honestly, I'd probably be friends with this dude. Honestly, I know I keep saying honestly, but honestly, I really did enjoy this haunted house, especially since it was my first time there. Like, I had absolutely no expectations, so I was pleasantly surprised. Um, just by, I would say I would just go by just by overall rating and my time there. Uh, Definitely well deserved of spending $25, I will say that. I'm interested to see what all they do for the Halloween season though, because that was just like Easter. It seemed like it wasn't too thought through, and I mean that like respectfully. I don't mean that like it sucked or anything. I'm just saying like if that was just the Easter haunted house, I really want to know what they would do for Halloween season. So I am planning on going back sometime in October to see what it's like. I wonder if they have the same scare actors too. Because all of the scare actors were themed kind of like Easter. So they were either like in scary, like military costumes, or it was like they were a child, um, like a scary kid, and they had their Easter baskets and stuff like that, or some scary bunnies. There was at one point we get out of the tunnel and we come to a huge open area. It's huge and it leads into another like maze type thing. And there's a giant, I mean giant, like 7 foot tall person in a scary bunny costume, and he's heckling us about giving him a carrot or a body part to pass and stuff. And he had a bunch of like random Easter baskets in this open area, and they had Easter eggs in them and stuff. And then it led us to like this huge skull entrance. I'll show you guys that here. My favorite part, let me think. My favorite part about the haunted house. I would have to just say the overall interactions with the scare actors was probably my favorite part. I I think it's like, from my experience, it's rare that scare actors like not only heckle you, but they try to like, they're very observant, um, and try to pick on you and stuff. And then I do like the haunted houses that the scare actors are allowed to move freely. Like they don't have to stay to their one assigned scary room. Um, the haunted hydro gave scare actors the freedom to move about. Like, granted, they had like a small section to work with, but like I said, with the tunnels and it going around and stuff like that, they were able to move and you'd see them in one room and then you would run into them in another room. So, probably one of my favorite parts about this specific haunted house. For this next part, I got a bunch of like fairy garden accessories from Hobby Lobby. I have some moss. I bought like a mini bouquet and I just plucked the flowers on top off the top of them. I got lavender and I am just glue sticking this onto my face. And if you can't tell by now, the theme is spring. When I put the full look together, it's going to give asthma. It's going to give spring allergies. You guys will see.
Gotta get his egg back. Where you running, Phil?
Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you all next weekend.